What is up, Hero Nation? Carlos Morrow back at it again with another video, and I'm really sorry for this long wait. I don't know what was going on with my phone. The app that I used to download all my stuff was not working, not allowing me to convert any of the videos, but that is besides the point. It's time to get to these gains. So obviously that's not me, that is my coach Alberto Costa. He is the most amazing person I've ever met. That's a lie, he's okay. But no, he has been training me for quite a while, probably like 3 years. He's been in charge of my diet, or more so, he's really been guiding me. This is the first time that we're really, going in and, I'm listening to everything that he's telling me to do. He trusts me with my training. That's pretty much like the only thing that, he's really not in charge of right now, or at least he's not really telling me to do anything specific. But as far as diet, he was the one who taught me at the beginning, you got to eat big to get big. He saw that I was listening to that at least, and from there he kind of gave me more of a structured diet. And as of right now, the diet that I've been using to help myself cut down he's the one who was in charge of that. The 3 low carb days and high carb day, all that kind of stuff. That was all him. So that's the only thing that he's, I guess you could say, that's the main thing that, he's in charge of right now. As we go along, I'm pretty sure he'll add more cardio days. He'll probably tell me like, oh, train like this, train like that, add more rest days, whatever the case may be. But until then, he told me just to train exactly the same way that I'm training right now. And that actually is awesome, because the last couple, workouts aren't really I guess you could say my thing. I like to go as intense as I possibly can, and I will keep working out until I fatigue, and I've mentioned that in my videos already. So the amazing thing is that he told me, he's like, no, that's exactly how I want you to train. And I'm like, finally. So I kind of felt like I was able to let loose and train the way that I've always trained, and it's been awesome ever since. But the first thing we did for this pull day was the dual, I guess you could say, lat pull down. And if you guys look, we're kind of leaned back a slight bit, because we're trying to not only hit that width, but we're trying to hit that thickness and those lats. That honestly was an amazing starter. When I walked in, he actually didn't even really speak to me. The first thing he did was like, we fist pounded, and then from there we just hit the weights. And I'm cool with that. I understand the mentality that I'm supposed to have right now. And actually just in general, there wasn't much talking. We said hi, and then that's it. So anyways, right after that, we went into T-bar rows with the V-bar handle. Man, that was an amazing variation to hit back. It was awesome. You're hitting not only, again, that width, but that thickness in the lats and that thickness in the bottom of your back, which for me, you guys know, and I've mentioned 1,000,001 times, that is a big weakness of mine. Then we went into the machine pull downs. This one was awesome due to the fact that when you get done with a heavy movement, to go into something else heavy is sometimes very, very difficult, especially when you're doing a back motion. So we went from going heavy to going to a machine where you have to have a lot more control. And if you guys look, we're not rocking back and forth. We're not tossing weight. Again, what am I always talking about? You have to feel for that muscle. And then a big thing that I feel like is very beneficial in me showing you guys this video is the different forms in which me and him do it. The way that he's always trained has always been different than mine, and it still works though. We're both still developing, and I feel like that's very important for people to understand, due to the fact that, as long as you're feeling those muscles, full range of motion, and being all technical and stuff, technically it really doesn't matter. All that matters is how you feel the muscle. And if you feel it by doing halvesies or whatever the case may be, then what's the big deal? You understand the basics. Yes, I do always recommend doing that full range of motion, but at the same time, when you get into a certain time in your bodybuilding or in your fitness journey, you'll realize that maybe you'll switch up how you do something, and you don't do it the same way. You don't do it by the book, and that's fine. As long as you still feel what you need to feel and you're doing everything safe, then there's really no big deal. So me and him went relatively, you know what, I can't even say we went relatively heavy, because what's funny is that I've seen him lift a lot of weight. I've seen him lift tonnage, and it's funny because the 4 plates was as heavy as he went, and I only went to 2 plates. It honestly was a pretty heavy movement, and also it does have to do with the fact that we were supersetting, so you're already fatiguing. But honestly, those rows were a lot heavier than I expected. So next time you guys go to the gym, and if you guys have a V-bar handle like the one that we have here, definitely try it. Definitely try it. So unfortunately, due to the fact that me and him were going set after set after set after set, I didn't record everything, so I do apologize, but I did record this set. Me and him did about 4 sets here, and we were doing about 10-12 reps. And then the last one, I forgot how many plates he had, but he did a 4 drop set. Basically, he did a drop set of 4. He hit like about 7 reps, then drop, right? So for me, I went 3 plates, and this is the important thing that I always want you guys to keep in mind, because I didn't trust myself. I should have went with 2 plates and a 25 right here, but I wasn't sure. And the 2 plates was just very, very easy for me. You guys will see as I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, oh man, like, you know, I feel it to where I'm like, I could tell it was too easy. So after this drop set, I told him to just add a 25, because at that point I had to make it hard still, because I didn't want to just waste the set, or I didn't want to drop it and say, hey, put on this when I've already, you know, done a couple reps. So when I drop it to a plate and a 25, what I was trying to do is slow down the motion, focus on the squeeze, and then slow down on the negative. That way I can still get as much as I could out of the set. And that's extremely important, because you guys never want to waste a set. You know, each set, you guys to a degree want to go to failure. You guys want to make sure that set, I gave it all. I gave it all in that set. That's the important part of saying 4 sets. We don't want just 1 set and then that's it. No, we want 4 consecutive sets where it's difficult, and each time it's either getting more difficult or you stay with that same level of difficulty. Right after that, we went into narrow grip rows. This was, again, very amazing for hitting that width and that thickness, but I want you guys to pay attention to how me and him are doing this. So if you guys look at how he's doing it right here, his body's not moving. He stays in a fixed position, and the only thing he's trying to do is pull that weight towards him and squeeze his back. And at this point, you guys can see his traps, you guys can see his the middle part of his back, and also you guys don't know, but he's squeezing his lats. You're trying to like kind of flex and squeeze the whole back. But the important part is that we're not moving back and forth, and the reason for that is because by this point our backs are and should be very fatigued. So trying to move around and use momentum is not necessary. All we're trying to do is get those good squeezes, focus on putting as much blood into the muscle as possible, and that's pretty much it. We're not trying to lift tonnage by this point. If you can lift heavy, definitely do it, but the point of this is whatever's left in the squeezing portion of the entire back, just leave it all there. And then right after we got done with that, the last back movement we ended up doing was cable pullovers. And you guys already know, I've done these a million and one times on the channel, but the important thing that I want you guys to always keep in mind is that when you're developing, the important thing that I feel like everybody should know, especially myself, is that you're never done learning. You guys don't see it in this one, but he actually was fixing my form as I was doing it for the 4 sets. He kept telling me, oh, do this, do that, and it was kind of difficult for me to do. I was like, whoa, I'm so used to doing it like this. So when he switched up my form, it actually did become very, very difficult for me. But when you guys are doing this, just focus on that stretch throughout the entire bag, mainly those lats. And then when you pull it in, you're trying to put your hands over your hands. I want you guys to pay attention to your hands need to go pretty much past your hips. The reason why this wasn't the case for me was because this was my last set, and I wish you guys would have I could have recorded the first couple sets because it actually became very difficult. So those last little reps that you guys saw me do, that was just because the way he changed it up for me. I was like, whoa, I cannot do that. My back was already shot, and for him to switch it up, it actually was very difficult. So again, that's the benefit of me always training with him, is that I'm always learning something new, always. After that, we went into biceps, and for me, you guys already know, for my body, I've always, I guess you could say, had a very good, my muscle connection is very easy for me to develop my biceps. And so the cool part is that me and him, even though he's my coach, because we work out together, I still, give him advice sometimes. And, I try to help him out when he needs it, or sometimes I'll be like, let's do this instead of that. And that's the cool, very, very cool thing about training with him, is that he's not somebody who's like, oh, I'm bigger than you, so I know more. He actually trusts my input sometimes. And now that wasn't the case in this point. I just let him be in charge of the workout. But I just put that out there just because, again, it's like the different forms and the different execution in the exercises. By this point, our biceps were fatigued. So you guys will kind of see that we're kind of lunging weight. And that was just, again, whatever's left in our biceps, we end up dishing out. And you guys will see, because after this, we ended up doing dumbbell rows. We did dumbbell curls. And again, just depending on how you feel, I technically that day lifted more than him. I was able to do 30s and he stuck with 20s. And it was funny because it's just like, I asked him, I was like, oh, you don't feel strong today? I was just asking, I never try to compete with him because his journey, his body is different than mine. That's something very important. I feel like you guys and everybody should understand, is that we're never trying to compete with anybody in the gym. Okay. So I asked him, and he's just like, oh no, he's like, this just feels good to me. That's what I'm sticking with. And I was like, that's awesome, because that's a big example that I always try to preach to you guys, that you don't need crazy heavy weight to get an amazing workout. As long as you feel what you need to feel, then hey, you're set to go. So that's pretty much it for this workout. That's what we ended up doing. I'm sorry that I didn't record everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry again that I wasn't able to get this video to you guys sooner. But let me know what you guys think about the video in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see more of, less of. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, because I put out weekly videos for you guys. Let me know what you guys want to see, because this channel is for you. And until next time, I will see you guys. Take it easy.